Yay! You! Hello! Hello! Hello, everyone! Watching me in the future. What we call the future, anyway. Yes, so here I am. And I'm doing another improv. Yes, because I'm just improvising. I haven't planned what to say. I've thought about some things I can say, but I haven't made a proper plan. So, yeah, it's an improvisation. Anyway, so what's going on? Why am I talking to you? I felt like doing an improvisation, so I'm doing that. But also, I've got some things going on here, and it is a crazy situation here because it's actually in the middle of the night and it's really late. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to dare to tell you how late it is. It's really late anyway. Yeah, it's really late and shouldn't really be up at this time. I should be in bed. And I think it was about an hour ago where I wasn't that late, but it still was really late, very, very late. Yeah, it was both extremely late because that other time about an hour ago was also extremely late. Yeah, but anyway, I was doing better then because I wasn't that late as now. And I wasn't having so much left that I wanted to do before I was going to go to bed. I was very delayed, but yeah, I wasn't in such a bad situation in a way. I mean, I wasn't so far away from being ready for going to bed. And then something happened because I decided I was going to check my emails, and I had actually not checked my emails for several days, and it was not good. And it turned out that there was a very important email waiting for me. And I can't tell you, well, I could tell you, but I don't want to tell you about what it was about. I mean, I don't want to tell you what it was all about because it's something private. I don't want to tell everything on YouTube, but yeah, it was something very important anyway. And first, I was very happy about it because it looked like some good news, pardon me, arriving. And yeah, the initial thing was that, wow, this looked really good. It looked like very good news because it looked like something I'd waited for had arrived. And it was just, yeah, looking really good at first. But it turned out when I looked closer into things that there was a mistake that happened, something bad had happened, and it was about a very important matter. And by the way, I'm sorry, but I have to go in a way because I received an important message on my phone, I believe. The thing is, I'm in the middle of dealing with something and I just have to check this message. So just bear with me. I'm going to leave the recording going, but I might have to just go back and forth between writing on my phone and talking to you. This is really important, you see. I'm just going to check this thing now. I was going to tell you about this, that I was waiting for this and I just hadn't come around to it. Oh, I haven't had a response to the thing I was thinking of. Oh, it must be a response to something else then. The thing is, I'm kind of in a queue on my phone and I'm waiting here to be served, basically. I'm waiting to be served. Um, Sorry, I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit. I'm waiting here, you could say, on WhatsApp. Oh, sorry, I didn't have to tell you that. Anyway, it's on WhatsApp. But anyway, it's to do with something where I'm in a queue waiting to be served by something. No, not by something, sorry. Well, I'm basically waiting for some support, some customer support, basically, to put it very simply. And the thing is, some minutes ago, it's actually quite a long time ago now. It's more than 20 minutes ago. It's 23 minutes ago. I was, after going through this really not easy, not nice situation on this thing here, um, this thing I was put through, where I was having to answer questions and I was hoping I was being asked these by a human being and had to ask these questions, like going through a menu to answer where I was going to go, basically. I mean, to what department I was going to go, in a way. Anyway, I was needing to answer questions about Sorry, I'm not so good at looking at the camera all the time, so I'll try to remember about that. Get better with that. Yeah, looking straight into the camera. I'll try. But yeah, the thing is that I needed to get some support, some customer support, basically, and I was answering questions because I was told by some kind of a digital assistant to answer some questions, and I wasn't sure what was going on at first, but I thought it was probably a human being that was sending me these things. I didn't think enough through it, and I should have thought about how things often are these days, because these days, often, there's just so much digital and technological stuff going on where we are dealing with robots or artificial intelligence or something like that. We're not always dealing with human beings anymore. And that's one of the problems in this world at the moment, and it's not good. But anyway, I got all these questions and I had to click a response. I had to choose between three options to get onwards in some kind of a menu. And then it turned out sometimes that I clicked on the wrong thing, or because when I came to the next menu or the next three options, they didn't fit for me. So then I had to click on going back to the previous menu. By the way, I think it was just two options really. Yeah, but anyway, the new options didn't fit for me, but there was a button that said previous menu. So I had to click on that one to get back to the other menu, the previous menu. And I just had to keep on going like that for a while, back and forth, before I finally came to a solution that fitted me. Sorry, I need to click on my code here, my T code. That was a little thing going on there that only someone special will understand. But um, anyway, so the thing is that I was having to come to the right place, and finally, I came to a place where it said an option called live agent. So I clicked on this so that I could be chatting with a human being through this written chat, and not being in touch with a computer or something like that. And I realized, sorry, I needed to click on something again. I needed to get my screen loosened up. I mean, locked up, unlocked. Yep. Anyway, in the end, I was told, one moment while I transfer you to a live agent. And that was sounding really nice, and it made me realize, well, so I'd just been writing with a computer then, I'd just been writing with some kind of a robot or something like that. It wasn't a real human being who'd given me all these options. It was all some kind of technological stuff going on. When you're giving an option, you've given an option on the phone or something like that, where you're just being put from one step to the next step, but it sounds like you're, for example, on the phone. Sometimes it just sounds like you're talking to a robot or something like that. It's all a bit crazy, isn't it? It's really not good, and we shouldn't have it like that. It shouldn't be like that. I don't like all these things, and it's not good or healthy for us, because it ruins things for us, and it just doesn't make us able to communicate as easily as if someone had just let us talk with a human being immediately, and we could have just said what we had to say immediately, and everything would have been easier, because a human being can understand you very quickly, and a robot or something like that can't understand you that quickly, and you can't properly communicate with a robot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there are a lot of these things that I don't like that's going on. Like, it's so difficult sometimes to get to the point where you actually are getting to speak to a human being when you're calling a support phone, or I mean a customer service support phone, that kind of thing, where you want some customer help. Often it's not easy these days, and sometimes I'm even struggling with finding a phone number to call to a certain company and things like that. Yeah, it's not nice. But anyway, this is really bad service here, because it was um actually precisely half an hour ago now that I was told that I would be transferred to a live agent, but still nothing has happened. So yeah, it's really good. No, I mean, it's really not good. It's really bad, this. Really bad, this. Yeah, but anyway, I should be going to bed soon. But anyway, after I got into that thing there, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. that late. It was before that. So after I'd got these bad news about something not being the way it should, I needed to deal with that matter. So I started dealing with that matter, and I sent a complaint email, for example, because the thing is that the bad news I got was to do with something very, very important. So the whole situation was very urgent. It was even some kind of a deadline involved in the whole situation. And because I hadn't noticed the email, as soon as I should have ideally, I mean, as soon as it would have been ideal, like the same day that I'd received it, but several days later, then that meant that I was even in a worse situation than I was. I mean, than I could have been, because now I didn't have so many days to deal with the situation that I would have had originally. And I'm in a really tight situation here. So I have to really quickly get this all sorted out, the situation I have to deal with, because I'm on a deadline, you see. Yeah, I've got a deadline to deal with. So yeah, it was not nice. It was bad news. So I was irritated, basically, but not just that. I was really disappointed. I was very disappointed because it was to do something important to me, where basically I've been failed. Yeah, but the thing is, people do mistakes and things like that, and we, yeah, we just have to deal with that sometimes, and we have to forgive people, and we have to just do the best with the situations that we meet in life, and yeah, we just have to deal with it the best way we can. And when we have to forgive people, and we just have to do what we need to do. But sometimes it's not enough to just forgive people, because sometimes you really have to fight for your own case and for what you know is right and for what you deserve and things like that. And sometimes when people have done a mistake towards you, like if it's to do with something formal, like a formal document or something else important, and you're not getting what you're entitled to get, and you know that you are in the right, then you just have to keep on fighting for your case and not give up until you've been given what you're entitled to get. And it can also be to do with shopping. Like I had a very interesting experience with Amazon some months ago. Wow, 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 that was interesting. But it was for a long time was really not. I mean, it was a really bad story. It was not a nice story at all in the beginning, because I struggled so much with dealing with Amazon. Oh, it was really not good. Yeah, I struggled very much with dealing with them for a while, because the customer service didn't work very well. And I was kept on being sent from one person to the next, things like that. And I had to, oh, yeah, I remember one of the biggest problems and one of the biggest things that happened, that was like one of the main things in the story, which wasn't good for me, was that after I'd sent an email about my situation to one individual who was dealing with me, then I was given a response from someone else who was not into it properly, and asked me questions or asked me to tell the story all over again or something like that. And I just had to keep on telling my story about what had gone on. And I had to keep on complaining over and over. And they didn't have a good cooperation there, it seemed like. And it was just things like that. It was just really not good. It was very bad customer service. And they didn't accept what I'd written. They didn't think it was enough information and things like that. It was, yeah, it was really not good. And I had been writing a lot. It wasn't that I'd written very little. So it was giving me a lot of work to do. I just had to keep on working, working. But the thing was, this was to do with my money. And when I knew I was right, because they had done a mistake towards me, and I didn't want to pay too much money. I didn't want to pay for anything I hadn't received, and that was the thing, that I hadn't received something, and I was unlucky. I had some accidents and things like that, and it wasn't to do with me acting in a bad way. It was just different things that didn't go my way, basically, and someone has to take the responsibility. And I was just innocent, and I felt like I knew I was in the right, and that I shouldn't have to pay for these things that never arrived at my home. So I kept on complaining and explaining my whole unique situation, and I just didn't give up. And I just felt like I knew I was in the right, I was innocent, and I hadn't done anything wrong. And it was all some kind of an accident, but also was to do with lack of communication, because people hadn't informed me well enough from Amazon's side, and other people as well. could have gotten involved in a way because it was to do with the post service here in Norway. It was a complicated story, but anyway, I just never gave up. So I just kept on fighting for my case. And then one day, woohoo! Wow, wow, wow! I had great news. One day, I had this really good, very, 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 very good experience. And I had believed in it. I believed in this thing that I was going to go my way and I was going to be refunded. That was basically what it was all about. That I wanted to get a refund for some things I'd ordered on Amazon but not received. And the thing was that all the things I'd ordered, the thing was that they'd been put into, I think it was at least two different postal postage packages. I mean, they'd been put into two groups, you could say. So some items they didn't arrive, but then I learned about how to actually receive them in time. And yeah, the thing was that I didn't know even how to find my postal packages. I didn't know where my packages were when I was new in Norway in the spring last year, because I was back in Norway after having lived abroad, lived in England for many many years. So I didn't know about all these things. I didn't know how to receive my own packages. I thought they were going to arrive at my door, and it turned out they were going to arrive somewhere else, and they had arrived somewhere else. But by the time I found out about where they'd arrived, or at least where I thought they'd arrived, they'd already been returned. They'd started being sent somewhere else. But I hadn't been given enough information about all, and it was all a messy situation with not enough information from Amazon to me. And it was complicated, but really not a good situation, and not easy for me. When I was new in Norway, it was almost like me being a foreigner in my own country. Yeah, it was a very unique situation where lots of things were new to me because I hadn't lived in Norway for about 9 years. I think it was, yeah, it was about 9 years. Yeah. Yeah, and changes had occurred in the postal system in Norway. There had come a lot of changes in the Norwegian postal system. So I couldn't do things like before. I couldn't go to a post office anymore, for example. I was told after a while from my dad that there were no post offices left in Norway um, anymore. I haven't found out if he was 100% correct. It could be that there was still one or two left or something like that, but at least I found out online that a whole load of them had been shut down over the last years, and that it looked like there was none or hardly any left. Yeah, but anyway, I found out later how to get hold of my packages that couldn't come to my door, those that were too big for coming to my post box. Um, I mean, close to my house. I mean, where I lived at the time, and turned out that it was more complicated than I thought it would be to get hold of some packages from Amazon that I was told about in time. I mean, I found out about in time, and I went different places, and I thought they were in some kind of a boxes outside of a shop, and they weren't there. And it's a long story, but to make the story short, I did find out about where to find them eventually. So I found these packages, and I got some cushions I had ordered. So it was all fine with that group too, you could say, because I'd ordered packages from Amazon in two groups. No, sorry, I don't know if I'd ordered them in two groups. I maybe hadn't. But anyway, some things I'd ordered, they'd been put into two groups, you could say. So some things had been sent to me at one point, and then there were other things that had been sent to me at a later point. And I got hold of those things that were sent to me at a later point, but I needed to deal with this refund situation where there were some things I'd ordered that never arrived at my place, that I never got. And I didn't want to pay for some things I'd never gotten. I'd already paid for them, but I wanted my money back. So I didn't give up, like I was saying before. I just kept on fighting for my case. And I recommend that you do that when you know that you're in the right. Yeah. And I was going to say this thing that happened. So back to the story of what happened, because, I said to you that there was one time something very, very good happened. Yeah. And what it was, it was that I opened my inbox, my Yahoo inbox. I've got at least two inboxes. But anyway, I opened my Yahoo email inbox to check for emails. And there was a very nice, a lovely sight there because there was one email after the other on a long row, all from Amazon, saying refund given or something like that, refund accepted or something like that. And it was just a load of emails about me being given lots of refunds. And I was so happy and I was so excited. Wow, wow, wow. That was one of the best things I've ever experienced to do with refunds and good news on emails. Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing was, not only did I have refunds that I expected and hoped for waiting for me, it was all fine. But on top of that, Amazon, they'd refunded the whole stuff, absolutely everything that I had ordered, also those items that I had received physically that was now in my possession. So they just refunded the whole thing. So that was really nice. And then I wasn't sure, what am I going to do now? But I decided to be honest about it. I was going to be nice and honest about it too, Amazon, because I didn't want to get any, uh, well, I didn't want to be in any trouble or, yeah, well, it wasn't exactly that. But I mean, I think that was a little bit part of it, that I didn't want to get into trouble for not telling the truth, to put it like that. But anyway, the main thing was that I just wanted to be honest because I'm an honest person. I like being honest, and I think we should be honest and tell about things like that. Like if someone gives us too much money back in a shop, that we should give the money back, or tell them, oh look, you've given me too much money or something like that, and see what they say. If they are saying, oh, you can just keep it, of course then you can keep it. But I think we should be honest about things like that. But yeah, so I wanted to be honest about it, because I thought I should be honest about it. I think we should be honest about things like that. And I didn't know if they'd done it on purpose or not. That was the thing, yeah, because it could have been that they had done a mistake. So it was much because of that. I was thinking I should let them know about it in case they'd done a mistake, because they could have given me more money back than I expected by a mistake, because maybe they just I saw 22 there, by the way, because maybe they just thought that, maybe there was some kind of misunderstanding or something. Anyway, I was not sure if they'd done it the right way or what. I didn't know if they had given me the right amount of money. I just didn't know what they'd done and what was going on, if this was all a mistake or what. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure that I just at least I gave them a chance, to sort it out in case they had done a mistake and they wanted me to pay the money back because they'd given me too much. If that was the case, if they thought they'd given me too much. So anyway, I just wanted to give them the chance of getting things sorted. So yeah, so I was just honest about it. I wrote an email back to Amazon and I thanked them very much for the refunds and explained about the situation and told them that they'd also refunded me for things I hadn't asked for a refund for or something like that. I was honest about the situation anyway, so I made sure that they were aware of what was going on, and I was just wanting to see what would happen. I think it's better to tell too much than too little sometimes. And anyway, it's best to be honest in those kind of situations. I think when you're not sure if someone has done a mistake or not, and you don't know if you've been given too much money or something like that. But anyway, I just told them about the situation anyway, because I thought I needed to be honest about it, and I thought that was the right thing to do. So I was honest about it. I told them about the situation, and I can't remember exactly what happened, whether I had a response or not, but I do think I had a little response. But anyway, there was no one from Amazon that mentioned anything about the money and said that, oh, yeah, we've given you too much money, you need to pay us back or something like that. There was nothing like that. So it was all fine. Yeah, it was all fine. So that was really good. So yeah, basically in the end, I was just blessed by Amazon, but I felt like I really deserved to get all that money because I'd been striving and I'd been struggling and I'd been doing so much work just to get my refund that I thought I deserved back. So in that way, it was very good, and I felt like I kind of deserved it, I think. Anyway, I'm feeling it now when I'm thinking of it. I did, in a way, deserve all that money back. I mean, that extra money back because I'd been fighting so much for my kids and been struggling a lot with them. And it was like, in a way, when you're not happy with some customer service, because I was not happy with them, the way they kept on sending me from one person to another, and I had to keep on explaining stuff over and over and stuff like that. It was really not nice, and I'm basically complaining I'm basically complaining on Amazon on this video, so I hope it doesn't give me any trouble and that YouTube will remove this video or something like that, but you never know these days. But anyway, I was I was yeah, I was just not unhappy. I was really not happy with the situation the way it was. But in the end, when Amazon had given me the refund I wanted, and in addition to that, gave me more refund that I'd asked for, and they refunded the whole stuff, everything I'd ordered for a while. I mean, during a time period there. Yeah, then I was very pleased. So in the end, they did very well. At least in that way, in that way, where it comes to the refund thing, they did really well in that way. Yeah, so that was nice. Anyway, I'm just chatting away, and I hope you are not bored or are not getting impatient or something, and that you're enjoying listening to my stories and stuff like that. I'm just improvising, and this ended up with me talking a lot about that story about Amazon, and hope that's all right, and that you are enjoying stories like that from me. Anyway, I just chatting away, and I'm being me, and I'm telling you some stories now and then. But yeah, it was interesting, that situation, but it was just really good with that refund situation, especially when I got so much refund and more than I expected, and it was a big blessing basically. So it was really nice when I got a lot of refund. And was refunded everything. So in the end, I just got some cushions for free from Amazon, and I didn't have to pay for any of the stuff I'd ordered, and even those things I'd received physically. Yeah, so that was really nice. It was a nice experience, very nice, and a nice blessing. But it just shows that, if you don't give up and you fight for what you believe in and for what you believe is right, then you can be rewarded, and sometimes you're rewarded more than you think you will be rewarded. So it's really nice. Yeah. Okay, anyway, I'm going to check this phone now and see if anyone has written to me. Where is this live agent that was going to write to me? No, still not there. So it's really not nice. I don't like things like that. Anyway, it's very, very late. It's a crazy time. It's a crazy night. It's in the middle of the night. It's yeah, crazy late, extremely late in the middle of the night. Yeah, so I really have to go to bed soon. But it was nice to get some of these things off my chest in a way. Anyway, it was nice to share it with you. But yeah, I've got something important to deal with now. So after some hours of sleep, then I hope I will have an email waiting for me from someone I've complained to in the middle of this night on that matter I just told you about. If it wasn't for that matter that I discovered through an email tonight in the middle of the night, um, then I probably would have been asleep right now, because I've been dealing with that urgent matter that came up for over an hour now. In a way, well, at least I've been dealing with it for a long time. I was dealing with it for about an hour until I started filming here, but now I've been filming for almost half an hour. So I've kind of made it worse for myself. But I thought I could leave it some more minutes, with waiting for that agent that was going to write with me. And I've been talking here a while, I've been waiting for that agent. But now that I've waited for almost an hour now, because it's almost an hour now, it's almost 50 minutes anyway, since I was told I was going to be given a live agent, and it doesn't look like that system is working, that system I was in there. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I was waiting a lot. I've been waiting a lot. If it wasn't for that delay, I would have maybe been in the middle of writing with someone out, or been finished with that writing thing and been in bed by now. Anyway, I could have been in bed by now, but because I also started chatting here and I've not been able to stop, or found it easy to stop, and I just chatted away, I'm even more delayed now, and it's extremely late. But anyway, the time is here. It's getting closer now to my goodbye time, because it's less than a minute left, and I really have to say goodbye soon, because I'm basically limited to half an hour on these recordings that I'm making here. But I really hope you're all fine, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to me. And I hope you're all fine, yes, and you take care. Whether you are up late and having a crazy night like me or what, take care. Have a good night and a good day, whatever it is for you. Onwards, take care. Have a good time. Have a good time, yay! Okie dokie. Bye, 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 bye. Love from me. Bye, bye.